Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. We'll take a few moments to allow our fellow Sangha members to arrive. I imagine some of you were watching the gold medal hockey game. If you're just joining us, we're just pausing while we allow people to jump on. So feel free to get yourself settled, which is the topic of our practice and teaching today, settling. So might as well start now. Good morning and welcome to our Dzogchen Center Sunday Town Hall. My name is Kelley Amadei and I will be leading us in practice today. Most, if not all, of the names I have seen before, so thank you for coming back again and again to sit together. One thing I know for sure is we need each other on this path. Not meant to do it alone. And every Sunday just lifts my heart and lifts my spirits as I see 50, 60, 70, 80 of us setting the intention to awaken. So we're going to start in a moment with some prayers and chants. Some will be in Tibetan, some will be in English. Please feel free to follow along as you would like. And then we will move into practice. And today's practice, the theme of the practice is settling. Can you hear that, by the way, in the background? Not me. Do you hear a sound in the background? That's my son singing in the other room. So sweet. I'm just going to send him a little message, though. I hate to thwart his creativity. Thank you for your patience. Maybe we'll just settle and listen to Henry. I love how all things converge. A conversation I had with him was one of the motivations for today's theme. So we'll talk a little bit about settling, a little bit about our motivation for practice, what it is that we're doing here. And then our practice will be a guided meditation, mostly with periods of silence. So that's what you can expect. I'll pull up some prayers here. So we'll start with inner refuge and bodhicitta. As I often share when I lead, on days where you don't have time to practice, because life does life, it happens, I highly recommend just going for refuge. Many of the teachers and gurus have said that taking refuge is enough. So, inner refuge and bodhicitta. In the empty and open essence, the radiantly lucid nature, and the manifesting compassionate responsiveness, I take refuge by recognizing and resting in this threefold innate Buddha-ness that is the true nature of mind. I and all beings are primordially Buddha. Knowing this to be essentially true, I give rise to the awakened mind of supreme enlightenment. All right, and we'll finish with the refuge and bodhicitta. I know we're doing these out of order, but it's intentional. In Buddha, Dharma, and supreme spiritual community, we go for refuge until fully enlightened. By the power of all six perfections, from generosity to non-dual wisdom, for the sake of all beings, may we realize Buddhahood. Go ahead and take a moment and set your own intention for today's practice. So over and over again, I come back to the question of, what are we doing here? Why are 60 of us sitting here on a Sunday morning or afternoon, depending on where you are, setting the intention to awaken? Maybe another question is, are you setting the intention to awaken? And do you believe you can? Just that. Just the intention to awaken and the belief that it's possible is everything. I was having dinner with my son this week, and when it's just the two of us, once a week we go out to dinner, just the two of us, and we end up having pretty deep existential conversations, generally prompted by him. And the most recent one was, he was describing this feeling of being in situations where he finds himself freezing and not being himself. And we were inquiring together what prompts that. And I empathized with that and assured him that even at almost 50 years old, I still do that. So there's nothing wrong with him. But we started to talk about what is the question of myself. Who is the self? Who is the self you are being or not being? How do you know which one is true? And it spurred a conversation about inquiry into the nature of mind. How do we know who we really are? Knowing that as humans, we will abandon that along the way for perceived safety and security, which is mostly what happens, I think, to teenage boys and girls, teenagers in general. And Henry in particular had a pretty strong sense of self, and then he got to high school and he's like, I find myself doing things I wouldn't normally do or say to fit in. So it ignited this question in me again of like, what is it that our practice promises? What is it that this Dharma promises us? And it's freedom, it's liberation, it's awakening. And it's freedom from that we have become habituated to. Not that which we are. Right? So what we do is we seek in life safety and security, and generally we look for that outside of ourselves. And as time goes on, we become conditioned, we get assimilated, and we put on what's not ours. We become this sort of shrouded version of who we really are. So in our effort as humans to seek safety and belonging, we find ourselves dissatisfied, discontent, and searching for something outside of ourselves. And that is shaped by, depending on your belief, past lifetimes. It's shaped by your upbringing, your family life, your environment, where you live. And we become habituated to this idea that we want or should want certain things: jobs, positions, status, friendships, material things. And then we end up getting tied up. Like I always visualize like a knotted up, like sort of tangle of human limbs, where like we trap ourselves. I trap myself. And then if we're lucky enough, we get introduced to something, and here we are with the Dharma here, that can help us unwind that can help us shed that and let go of the conditioning. Now that last line in the bodhicitta prayer is, I'll paraphrase here, is to give rise to the awakening mind. It's not to go find something and take it and put it inside of you. We're getting out of the way for the awakened mind that's right here. We don't have to find it. We don't have to seek it. Nobody's going to give it to us. It's a matter of stripping down and letting go and relaxing into what has always been. Our true self, our truest self, the self that existed before we knew we were separate or apart from anything or anyone. Oftentimes, a lot of the teachers that have come before about it as a wish-fulfilling jewel. That we have this wish-fulfilling jewel. And when we have it, the first thing we need to know is, one, it's there, we have it. And then we have to set the intention to want to, like excavate it. It's a little bit of an excavation process. Like if you imagine this wish-fulfilling jewel, like a real jewel, a crystal that's been buried at the base of a mountain and it's covered in dirt and it's encrusted and it's fossilized. It's no less the thing that it is underneath that, all of that incrustation. It's still a perfect jewel beneath it. And so the path, the Dharma, the practice, gives us the tools and the way in which to start to strip away and shed those layers that have shrouded the truth of the jewel, the truth of our true nature. And we're not going to look for the jewel somewhere that it's not. We have to remember that where we're looking is right here. It's right here. No one has your jewel. You have it. I don't have it. Amadei doesn't have it. You have it. That is the miracle of our being. We are already it. So, how? right? That's the next question. How do we get to it? How do we get to it? How do we glimpse it? And then how do we sustain it? And so today's practice is going to focus on not trying so hard, not climbing and digging and excavating in a rigorous way, but a gentle practice of just allowing, of resting. Resting so that we can awaken and be free from the delusion that we are anything but perfect, loving. Dzogchen is the natural great perfection, perfect as is, right here, right now. So, take a deep breath. Shake out the cobwebs, stretch a little in a gentle, loving, compassionate way with yourself, with your body. And we're going to practice with leaving everything as it is. And I invite you to not think of practice and awakening as eventually. I invite you today in this sitting to allow the possibility that awakening is right now. Liberation, freedom is right now. It's not tomorrow, it's not in 3 years, it's not if you can do a 3-year retreat, it's not only if you can go into 10 days of silence with the right teacher. It's right here for you right now. And see what arises when you allow that possibility. So allow your seat to rise up to support you. Let your body rest. Let your posture be such that it doesn't get in the way of your resting, your attentive resting. Don't worry if your mind is agitated or busy or contracted or moving. Just let it be. Let it do what it's going to do. Let your body relax. Allow your body to relax. Allow your mind to relax. Gently become aware of your mind, aware of the restlessness if it's there, but do nothing with it. Gentle gaze upon it. Soft gaze, tender gaze. Thoughts will arise. Don't anticipate them. You're not a cat catching a mouse. You're not meant to trap them or just allow them. See what ease arises when you allow everything. And just let the mind settle upon itself. No altering, no manipulating. No worrying about, am I doing it? Am I meditating? Have I understood the instruction? Am I getting it right? These are questions that come up for me. I don't know if they come up for you. Allow those questions or whatever questions arise to arise, but relax into the one that the questions arise from. Relax into the one that the questions arise from. Settle into that one. If your mind becomes agitated, rest into the space in which the agitation arose from. Let the agitation be the object. You are the subject. Turn your attention to the subject. Like a projector, temporary. All that arises from the projector is temporary. Rest in the empty space it arises from. If your mind is dull or spacey, settle again, rest. Don't adjust anything. Be with the space the dullness arose from. Just this, just sitting. Forget the just and sit. Forget forgetting and be. When the mind is happy or sad, fearful or excited, rest into the one that feels. Rest into the one that feels happy or sad or scared, excited. Letting the thoughts and feelings arise like the weather, like the clouds in a wide open expanse of sky. The sky doesn't interfere with the thoughts. The sky doesn't interfere with the feelings. Just allow, rest, settle. When the mind is not thinking, settle into the not thinking. Settle into whatever is occurring. Nothing to adjust, cultivate, or shape. Just settle. Not searching, not drawing in. Nothing to look for externally. Nothing to focus on. Just settle on the very mind that seeks, on the very mind that focuses. Settle into the mind. Settle into the one that searches. And see if you can relax just a little more. By just sitting, everything dissolves. We awaken to our original condition. Patrul Rinpoche says, you won't find the mind by searching for it. It has always been empty. There is no need to search. It is the very one that searches. Simply settle, without distraction, into the searcher. Letting the mind settle upon itself. As a lifetime overachiever, this approach to practice gives me great solace. You can continue to sit and settle. I'm going to chant Padmasambhava's obstacle clearing, wish fulfilling prayer. Dosum Sanjay Guru Rinpoche Nudup Kunak Dewa Chen Poja Marche Kunsel Dudu Drak Posel Solwadep Sojin Gilab Tuso Chinang Sangwei Barche Jiwadang Sampalunji Druparjin Gilo. Precious guide, one with all the Buddhas of the three times, blissful presence and source of all spiritual accomplishments, fierce destroyer of illusion who dispels every obstruction, we pray to you for blessing, inspiration, and realization. Please remove all outer, inner, and secret obstacles and spontaneously fulfill our aspirations. We'll do the dedication of merit to universal enlightenment. Sonam di tamche zikpani topne ne pedranam pamjene kega nachi balap chukagi sipe sole drowa shok. By the power of this meritorious practice, may the real enemies, our own projections and misdeeds, be overcome and sublime realization fully obtained. So we may free beings from the miseries of birth, death, old age, disease, the stormy waves of the ocean of samsara. And finally, the bodhicitta dedication. Janchok Simchok Rinpoche Makye Panam Ke Gyoshik Ke Panyam Par Me Payang Gonne Gondu Pelwar Shok. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. Thank you all for your presence and your gentle souls. If anyone has any questions or any sharing, please feel free to put it in the chat. I'm going to read a poem while we wait for that I thought was appropriate for today. This is by Derek Walcott. It's called Love After Love. The time will come when with elation you will greet yourself arriving at your own door in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, "Sit here, eat." You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you. All your life, who you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit and feast on your life. I'll put it in the chat for those of you who are interested. Wishing you a loving and safe next week, and we hope to see you next Sunday. Thank you.